What's going on, everyone? So, the Los Angeles Lakers are more likely than not going to go star chasing this upcoming offseason. Obviously, all the circulation around Trae Young, Donovan Mitchell, right? Whatever other star potentially becomes available, or there's murmurs of, that they're going to be linked to the Los Angeles Lakers because it's the Lakers. They actually have the assets and the tradable pieces to actually get a deal done this year for a potential third star. Lakers are not only looking for now, but they're looking at post LeBron James. So if they can get a guy that makes sense, that could help maybe win a championship now, but also be the foundation piece alongside Anthony Davis for the foreseeable future, I fully believe the Lakers are going to make that jump. But question that I want to pose to all of you, and of course, have a discussion down in the comments, is should the Lakers, for the most part, run it back? Now, obviously, 2 straight years disappointment. You run into Denver and you get swept in the first round, and then you lose in 5 in the second round. This year, though, I felt was much different. Yes, the result ultimately became the same, that the Lakers lost, but they were in control a good majority of this series against Denver. And it just kind of came down to the inability to close and the consistency of the role guys. But one of the big things that Denver has that has been highlighted, it was highlighted last year, it's highlighted this year, is that Denver has that continuity that they've built over the last few years that have really helped them to basically become that championship, arguably best team in the league type talent. And you look at the Lakers, and it's like, okay, you've basically now had 1.5, not really a full half, but let's call it 1.5 years of just chemistry building, relationship building, growth development. And then do you break that up to go chase a star? Or, even if it's not a star, let's say you go get DeJounte Murray and, you go trade and get a Clint Capella with that or something, right? Like you just go get some other pieces, kind of try to revamp, retool this roster. Or do you kind of just go, hey, let's get rid of Darvin Ham. Let's go bring in maybe a more qualified head coach and see what they can do with this current roster. Now this current roster would have 2.5 years of development. Guys would get more comfortable. Guys would get more just in better position, hopefully, ideally, right? You get a coach that can better utilize guys properly. You add in, key pieces around the edges, but for the most part, you keep the main core intact. And then, if you have that coach that maybe can kind of unlock Rui Hachimura better. I know he was terrible in the Denver series, but he's also playing out of position. All right, what does he look like if he's actually utilized as primarily a power forward or is put into actual actions that better highlight his skill set? Right? The other concern is that, LeBron James just becomes a year older, and it's like you're kind of hinging on LeBron being great. And even in that Denver series, you saw him getting gassed. You saw him getting tired. But if guys can pick it up more, right, does that change how this team is better equipped going forward, right? Because a lot of the issue, like the Lakers were really good this year. A lot of it was just inconsistencies again, right? Primarily to the role guys. But how much of that was Darvin Ham? How much of that was just the team in general? Like, I think it's a combination. I think it's a mixture of just, significant injuries, different lineup structures, right? Darvin Ham's coaching, D'Lo, Reeves, Rui, guys just not stepping up and playing to the level in which that they are capable of playing. But then you look at it and you go, okay, well, again, if Rui is better utilized, Reeves gets some rest, right? Reeves wasn't who we wanted, needed, and expected him to be this year. But how much of it was he just played a ton of basketball, played all 82 games, played in FIBA last year, right? And how much of it was just he was just burnt out in spots, right? And where now he gets some rest, he gets some time to kind of grow, right? Do you go and just kind of trim and maybe upgrade in key pieces? Go get a legit center. So you kind of run it back with everybody, maybe go bring in a Valanciunas, right? Or bring in some type of center. Can you figure out a way to go maybe trade for a center rather than going and trading for a star? Maybe go get a legit 3-and-D style type guy. Now, my concern is there are a lot of flaws and holes with the Lakers beyond just like, even if everybody was great, right? Like, we still lack athleticism out on the perimeter. We still lack just legit two-way pieces. But is that something that maybe you could address in the offseason or via trade? You go get, like I said, you go get a legit center that can maybe come in and bang with the Jokic, right? Maybe you're not running the same starting five, right? Maybe you go and get, a Royce O'Neal. Again, just using names that are popping in my head, but like a Royce O'Neal who gives you like a legit 3-and-D option, right? Maybe new coach moves Reeves to the bench as the sixth man and running like D'Lo, Royce O'Neal, LeBron, AD, and Valanciunas, right? Something like that. Or maybe you go and you flip because they don't want D'Lo, and maybe you can convince them not to take Reeves, and maybe you just go get like a DeJounte Murray. Right? Like, what if you got a DeJounte Murray, move D'Lo to the 2 because of his ability to play off ball? Maybe go with the Jared Vanderbilt in the starting unit, move Reeves to the bench, right? Go get, like I said, a Valanciunas in that type of deal, and kind of approach it that way, right? Problem is, if you were to trade for DeJounte Murray, you'd still probably have to give up some pieces. But again, like, maybe you could keep kind of the main core group and kind of do like a Gabe Vincent and other pieces that you could package. It's just kind of a thought because, again, like, this team had its moments. I mean, even in the Denver series, like, it looked like a team that was more than capable of matching up. But you had a clear coaching disadvantage on top of the clear coaching disadvantage. You just role guys didn't play great. On top of the role guys playing great, I just felt like a lot of guys weren't properly utilized. Right? Like, even guys like Spencer Dinwiddie, Christian Wood this year, I talked about and was incredibly frustrated by like how Darvin Ham utilized those guys. Where it's like, man, like, we've needed a playmaker and scoring option off the bench all season. And you got a guy in Spencer Dinwiddie that checks off like every box we need as like a sixth man type guy. And he was never utilized as that. He was always utilized. Like, you have D'Lo and LeBron go to the bench and Austin Reeves is running the point. And it's like, but you have a guy in Spencer Dinwiddie who's better, right? Christian Wood's a guy that he was best on the block, but also had the capability of shooting the 3-ball and stepping out. Where Darvin Ham used him as a guy that could shoot the 3-ball and on occasion could go down and run your offense. It's just, everything was like inverse with him. And it's just, those are the kind of differences that maybe if you run it back another year, maybe you can kind of course correct, upgrade around the edges, insert a new head coach that better utilizes guys. And now you're just better suited, better equipped, and in a better position to maybe go run and make another finals run. Again, the opposite, the other side of that is, you got to hit on the head coach. 2, you got to get the complementary pieces that upgrade and make sense. And then 3, you're again still really counting on LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Not only are you counting on LeBron James and Anthony Davis to be great again, but you're also counting on them to be healthy. And they were the healthiest that they were in a very long time. Like, very long time. So, can they have another season in which they both are able to maintain that level of health and then get into the playoffs? And, a lot of it to me also would just be the role guys again, right? If guys are playing great, guys are stepping up, guys are being who they're supposed to be, well, now all of a sudden, LeBron and Anthony Davis, they don't have to do as much during the course of the regular season. And then if you get into the playoffs, again, if those guys can continue to deliver and continue to play well, then now you're in a position to where, again, LeBron James and Anthony Davis don't have to do as much, carry as much of a workload, because it was a lot of LeBron James and Anthony Davis heavy lifting in that Denver series because guys just failed to show up. But then there's always the concern of like, that's just who these players are, right? Like, regardless, you get to the playoffs and D'Lo's going to be inconsistent. Although he was better this year than he was last, but still, he's going to be inconsistent. Austin Reeves, like, maybe he's not the guy that we assumed and believed he was. Rui Hachimura, right? He kind of, was a bit bad. It's just, you ask this question, but again, if you add those other complementary pieces, maybe those guys don't have as big of a role. And maybe, if you get a Valanciunas guy that can dump down, that where you can always throw the ball to him and he can show up and maybe go give you 15 to 20. So now if D'Lo does have a bad game, at least you're getting something from Valanciunas, maybe Austin Reeves, you go get a Royce O'Neal, maybe he has a big game, right? You go get 2 or 3 guys that you can add to this current core. They all have another year together. They all improve and get better. You saw the leaps that Rui had between last year and this year, right? D'Lo even was better from last year to this year. If everyone kind of keeps improving, maybe you're just a better team overall. Just kind of a thought. Again, as always, this is a discussion. Pass question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you like the idea of kind of running it back, bringing guys back? Do you think no? You got to retool. You got to kind of round out a new team. Again, how you feel, whatever your thoughts are. I'd love to hear it. Let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.